A very good evening and welcome to this evening edition of US 101's Visual Radio. Bringing you the news, I'm Hashini Pathirana. Let's start off with a look at your headlines first.
News First headline.
In your top local stories, Supreme Court to consider fundamental rights petition filed by attorney Aruna Laxiri on the presidential election tomorrow. 10 billion rupees allocated for presidential polls. Funds can be released whenever required, says the Finance Ministry. The true revolution begins with building a strong national foundation, says President. In your international headlines, House Speaker notes heated political discourse but says we shouldn't be targeting people. And in your sports, it's tennis. History fuels Djokovic Wimbledon title bid against Alcaraz. And now taking a look at your top story this evening, the Supreme Court is set to consider a fundamental rights petition filed by attorney Aruna Laxiri regarding the presidential election. It will be taken up before a three-member bench tomorrow. The fundamental rights petition filed with the Supreme Court highlighted irregularities in the passing of the 19th constitutional amendment. The petition revealed that the amendment has not undergone a formal referendum process despite a Supreme Court bench suggesting such a referendum. The petitioner is seeking a judgment that holding a presidential election prior to the referendum would contravene this constitution. Attorney Aruna Laxiri filed the petition listing the Election Commission, its members, the Secretary General of Parliament and the Attorney General as respondents. The petition argues that the 19th Amendment lacks legal standing as it has not been signed by the President following approval in a referendum. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has verbally requested the Attorney General to represent the NEC in the petition. In more local news, the Ministry of Finance said that 10 million rupees have been allocated for the presidential election. A senior spokesperson said that funds can be issued upon request for presidential election expenses. Finance Ministry officials also have been summoned to appear before the Election Commission on the 17th of July. Meanwhile, the hard copy of the 2024 electoral list is set for publication next week. Sri Lanka Police has also decided to call for reports of estimated expenses for the police for the upcoming presidential election duties. Police said that an estimate of the overall costs related to the security arrangements will be directed to the Election Commission immediately. Police added that security will be provided as requested by the Department of Government Printing for the printing of ballot papers of the presidential election. This was during a discussion held between the head of the Department of Government Printing and the officers in charge of the police divisions. Chairman of the Elections Commission, RML Ratnayaka, confirmed that the date for the presidential election will be proclaimed before the end of July. Over 4,000 Urumaya freehold land deeds were distributed across 9 Mahaweli divisions in Mahaweli H and Huruluwava zones. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized that true revolutions are not about violence and destruction, but about creating a foundation where people can advance with dignity. Pointing out that the Urumaya program has been able to create that background for the people of Sri Lanka, the President said that everyone should unite with the Urumaya program, which will popularize the genuine socialist ideas beyond partisan politics. The President made these remarks at the Urumaya freehold land deed award ceremony held at Thambutegama Mahaweli Stadium, where he symbolically awarded 47 freehold land deeds. Accordingly, 4,012 individuals across 9 Mahaweli divisions in the Anuradhapura district received their freehold land rights.
International news.
Now taking a look at your news from overseas. In development news, House Speaker Mike Johnson urged Americans to treat one another with dignity and respect despite the country's heated political environment. The speaker said he was in touch with Homeland Security Secretary regarding the investigation into the attempt on Trump's life, which left at least one rally-goer dead, and said he was inquiring about what the Secret Service saw leading up to the shooting. The House Speaker also said he sent Trump a text after the attempted assassination.
Sports news.
And finally, taking a look at your sports update, Novak Djokovic says the prospect of creating tennis history will provide the fuel he needs to defeat Carlos Alcaraz and clinch an 8th Wimbledon title and record 25th Grand Slam today. Just 5 weeks after undergoing surgery on his right knee, 37-year-old Djokovic can become the oldest Wimbledon champion of the modern era and avenge his heartbreaking 5-set loss to the Spaniard in last year's final. On what promises to be an emotional day, the final will be played out in front of Catherine, Princess of Wales, who will be making her second public appearance following her cancer diagnosis earlier this year. UK media reported that she will also present the trophy to the champion. Djokovic will be playing in his 10th Wimbledon final and 37th at the 75 majors in which he has played. The 25th Grand Slam title would be an all-time record for men and women, snapping the mark of 24 he shares with Margaret Court. And with that, we wrap up Visual Radio for this Sunday. I'm Hashni Pathirana. Thank you for watching and good night.